If you were born under the sign of Pisces, you know what it feels like to carry the weight of every decision, as if it were echoing through multiple dimensions at once. You feel things others don't even notice. You sense the invisible threads connecting one choice to another, one moment to the next. And because of that, choosing has never been simple for you. It has always been layered with emotion, intuition, and a deep fear of causing harm or losing something beautiful along the way. But something is shifting now. Something inside you is beginning to see your choices not as traps or mistakes, but as expressions of who you are becoming. This is not about suddenly having all the answers. This is about recognizing that the way you make decisions is changing at the root. And when Pisces starts to see their choices differently, everything else begins to transform too. So if you have been feeling a quiet but persistent shift in how you approach decisions, if you have been noticing that old patterns no longer pull you the way they used to, this message is for you. Because the universe does not send clarity to Pisces by accident. It sends it when you are finally ready to trust yourself in a way you never have before. The first sign that Pisces is beginning to see their choices differently is that you stop waiting for external validation before you move. For so long you have made decisions based on how others might feel, how they might react, or whether they would approve. You have poured yourself into keeping peace, avoiding conflict, and protecting the feelings of people around you, even when it meant abandoning your own direction. But now, something in you has grown tired of that dance. You are starting to realize that no amount of approval from the outside will ever feel as solid as the quiet knowing that comes from within. And so you begin choosing based on what feels true, not what feels safe. This does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop sacrificing your soul to keep everyone else comfortable. And that shift, quiet as it is, changes everything. The second sign is that you begin to trust your intuition without needing proof. Pisces has always been deeply intuitive, but for much of your life, you have second-guessed those inner voices. You have dismissed your gut feelings because they did not come with logic or evidence. You have talked yourself out of knowing things before they happen because you were afraid of being wrong or looking foolish. But now you are learning to honor that inner radar. You are starting to understand that your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a guidance system. And when you feel something pulling you in a certain direction, even if you cannot explain why, you no longer ignore it. You follow it. You test it. You let it lead. And more often than not, it takes you exactly where you need it to go. Before we continue, if you want to follow the next 90 days with more clarity within your sign's energy, there is a 90-day astrological map that goes deeper into exactly the movements we're talking about here. It highlights phases, possible turning points, and key areas to pay attention to throughout the period. You can get it through the link in the pinned comment. I'm sure it will bring a lot of clarity to your path. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you thought. Now let's continue. The third sign is that you stop romanticizing what no longer serves you. Pisces has a gift for seeing the beauty in people, places, and situations, even when that beauty has long faded. You hold on because you remember what it felt like when it was good. You stay because you believe in potential, in transformation, in second chances. But there comes a moment when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. And you are reaching that moment now. You are beginning to see certain patterns, certain people, certain versions of yourself for what they truly are, not what you wish they could be. This is not cynicism. This is clarity. And it allows you to make choices rooted in the present, not in the past or in some imagined future. You are learning to honor what was without letting it dictate what comes next. The fourth sign is that you begin to set boundaries without guilt. For Pisces, saying no has always felt like betrayal. You absorb the needs and emotions of others so deeply that refusing them feels like turning your back on love itself. But now, you are starting to understand that boundaries are not walls. They are invitations. They show others how to respect you, and they show you how to respect yourself. You are learning that protecting your energy is not selfish. It is sacred. And when you say no to what drains you, you create space for what nourishes you. This shift does not happen overnight, and it does not happen without discomfort. But every time you choose yourself without apologizing for it, you strengthen a part of you that has been waiting a lifetime to be heard. The fifth sign is that you stop choosing out of fear of loss. Pisces feels loss more deeply than most signs. You grieve not just what was, but what could have been. And because of that, you often make choices designed to avoid pain, to keep things from ending, to hold on to whatever fragile thread still connects you to something familiar. But fear is a terrible compass. It keeps you circling the same patterns, the same people, the same dead ends. And you are beginning to see that now. You are starting to choose based on what you want to create, not what you are afraid to lose. You are stepping into decisions with open hands instead of clenched fists. And in doing so, you are discovering a kind of freedom you did not know was possible. If this message resonated with your sign, trust it. This is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to this sign, it sends the right signal at the right time. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or a member, is what keeps these messages alive. Messages created especially for people of this sign. And if this video connected with you, leave your birthday in the comments. Let's continue. The sixth sign is that you begin to see your emotions as information, not as obstacles. Pisces feels everything so intensely that emotions can become overwhelming. For years, you may have tried to manage them, suppress them, or escape them altogether. You may have believed that feeling too much was a weakness, something that kept you from making clear decisions. But now you are learning that your emotions carry wisdom. They tell you when something is wrong, even when your mind tries to rationalize it. They show you what matters, what hurts, what heals. And instead of drowning in them, you are beginning to listen to them. You are learning to let them move through you without letting them control you. This is one of the most powerful shifts a Pisces can make, because when you stop fighting your emotional nature, you unlock the full depth of your inner knowing. The seventh sign is that you start choosing clarity over comfort. Pisces loves the soft spaces, the gentle rhythms, the places where nothing is harsh or demanding. But clarity does not always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it arrives as a hard truth, a necessary ending, a painful realization. And you are reaching the point where you no longer avoid those moments. You are willing to face what is real, even when it hurts, because you know that living in illusion is far more exhausting than confronting the truth. You are learning that discomfort is not the enemy, stagnation is. And so you choose the path that wakes you up, even if it shakes you first. The eighth sign is that you stop waiting for perfect timing. Pisces often delays decisions because you are waiting for some cosmic green light, some undeniable sign that now is the right moment. But life does not work that way. There is no perfect moment. There is only the moment you decide to move. And you are beginning to understand that waiting is just another form of fear. It keeps you suspended between what was and what could be, never fully landing in either. So now you are learning to choose before you feel ready. You are learning to act on incomplete information, to trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. And in doing so, you reclaim your power from the endless cycle of hesitation. The ninth sign is that you begin to honor your need for solitude without shame. Pisces needs time alone to recharge, to process, to reconnect with the deeper currents running beneath the surface of daily life. But for so long, you may have felt guilty about that need. You may have forced yourself to stay engaged, to be available, to show up even when your soul was begging for rest. Now, you are starting to see solitude not as withdrawal but as nourishment. You are learning that stepping back does not mean you care less. It means you care enough about yourself to refill your well. And when you return clearer, stronger, more aligned. This shift allows you to make choices from a place of fullness rather than depletion. The 10th sign is that you begin to see your sensitivity as strength, not as something to apologize for. Pisces has spent a lifetime being told they are too soft, too emotional, too affected by the world around them. And for a long time you may have believed that. You may have tried to toughen up, to care less, to build walls around your heart. But now, you are realizing that your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is your superpower. It allows you to connect deeply, to love fully, to create beauty from pain. It gives you access to dimensions of experience that others cannot reach. And when you stop apologizing for it, when you stop shrinking to fit into a world that does not understand you, you begin to make choices that honor the fullness of who you are. You stop choosing what diminishes you and start choosing what allows you to expand. These 10 signs are not just observations. They are milestones. They mark the journey of a Pisces who is learning to navigate life not by avoiding pain or chasing approval, but by trusting the deep currents of their own soul. You are learning that your choices do not have to be perfect. They just have to be yours. And that is enough. If you are recognizing yourself in these signs, know that this is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of a new chapter. One where you no longer drift through life hoping to avoid mistakes. One where you move with intention, with trust, with the quiet confidence that comes from finally knowing yourself. This channel exists to support you through these shifts. Every video is created with the specific energy of your sign in mind, because no one understands the Pisces experience like someone who speaks directly to it. If this message gave you clarity, gave you comfort, or simply made you feel seen, consider subscribing. Turn on notifications so you never miss what the universe wants you to hear next. And if you want to go deeper, become a member. Your support is what allows these messages to continue reaching the people who need them most. Before you go, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you made a choice that felt completely yours with no explanation needed, no permission asked? Drop your birthday in the comments and let me know. Let's keep this conversation going because Pisces, your story is far from over. It is just beginning to make sense.